especially thinking about Belichick and Harbaugh,
Yeah,
two of the greatest coaches of all time, I think
yeah.
pretty universally. What were some unique lessons you learned from both of them around leading organizations and really being a people leader? And I think they have a little bit different style too, so curious what you thought.
Yeah, I think, yeah, as you say that, I'm reflecting on it and thinking about my own leadership right now.
And
But
it's so cool. You got to learn firsthand from some of the greatest leaders in the history of the world. And I
yeah,
think that's what some people don't understand around sports. And I think you can say the same for entertainment, theater, art, music. We just both happen to be athletes. And so I take an extra appreciation around this. These coaches are such great leaders. I mean, Bill Belichick is pretty universally considered the greatest coach in
right.
football history, I would probably say.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I think one thing I'll share with you as well too, the viewers may want to see it. One
Yeah, I love it. The viewers
But I
love
would,
the stories.
well, I was share. So when I was in New England, it was the COVID season, and I take all my notes on iPad on OneNote app, and I had a whole page dedicated to just Belichick and how he ran an entire organization, from how he prepared for meetings to how he coached up everybody and the details he attacked the job with. So, again, I'll share that with you as well because you might be
I
interested to
would
see
love to
how he
learn.
does
Love
this.
learning from the best. It's
Yeah,
always a good way to get better.
yeah. I think the two things I learned, like you said, two completely different personalities. I think when I think of Coach Harbaugh understands how to let his players own the locker room, if that makes sense.
So
How to
like
let them
Lamar
laugh, let
or
them joke. Yeah,
yeah.
let them be themselves, if that makes sense. That's a tough way to say that because that could be taken the wrong way, but Harbaugh, the Baltimore Ravens locker room is one unique locker room. It's loose. You have fun working there. You're gonna work your tails off. It was the hardest training camp I've ever been a part of. You are going to absolutely work your tails off, but as soon as you walk on that field, you're going to have a shot in every single game because you know you're going to have fun, and you know that there's nobody that has worked as hard as you to prepare
Yeah.
for that game. Belichick, he is a systematic culture builder, right? I love the fact that um, he's created a culture and a standard of excellence, and anything below that, like you won't
So
even
yeah,
be in the
who's
building.
policing that? I actually really curious to dive more. Like so, like
It's the players at
that's
that
the
point in
best type of
time,
policing, like
because
self-policing.
yeah, at
Like
this point in time, so the way I always describe it is when I was with the and similar cultures with the Ravens and the Patriots in a certain extent, right? Like when I was with the Jets or the Titans or something, you would have some guys who would work out extra after practice. You'd have a Jamal Adams who put on the headphones and be running all around the fields after practices, after training camp
yeah,
practices, just to get conditioning
he's
and stuff like
amazing.
that, right? You'd have guys in this gym doing certain things. I would do that as well too. We were outliers. The Patriots, you're just one of the guys doing that type of extra work to keep your body fresh, to create longevity in your career, to be better at your position. So like if you're lining up to do extra sprints after practice, you're not just by yourself, like you probably have
Yeah.
your whole position group or the whole team doing it with
Well,
you.
what's the motivation there? Is it more money? Is it more championships? Is it more respect from the coaches? Is it intrinsic? Like, how do you align incentives so you can motivate the team to put in the extra work?
Yeah, I think it's just Patriots and the Ravens also just have this culture of we want to be great.
I love
And you
that.
understand that in order to be great, you can't do what everybody else does. Like that's
Absolutely
one thing I
not.
always tell, high school athletes because a lot of them would do football camps and things and I want to make it to the league. What should I do? What should I do? And I always tell people like, listen, like in college athletes, you want to make it to the league. Okay, cool. When everyone else does sprints at the end of practice, they all do five. How many do you do? Oh, I do five like everybody else. Oh, so you want to make it to a place where you know everybody isn't going to go, and you're not willing to do more than them, right? Like you can't expect to do the same thing unless you're just extremely uniquely gifted and just anointed by God, right? Like you can't expect to do the same things as everybody else and reach further distances. And so I think that in Baltimore and New England, that greatness is just inundated in the culture, And that's just been passed down from, I mean, when you have a Tom Brady who has, again, I never got to play with Brady, unfortunately, but all the stories, the documentaries, when you have somebody who is consistently just pushing their body to be better and better and better and better and better, even when they're already at the top, you have no excuse but to say, how can I get better today? And once you find a little answer to that question, you just do it.
Yeah, I say to the company here, get better every day, always be learning. It's that constant high performance culture, and I love that you being able to learn so much from that.
I think, like you said, doubling down on the superpowers is one thing that I learned from Bill Belichick that you see so many coaches make the mistake of is you have your vision for a play or how it's ran or how something happens, but you may not have the personnel, the players to actually fit into that scheme.
Yep.
Bill Belichick is not the guy who's going to say, I want it done this way, so you need to be able to drop in coverage on third down and do this, and this as an outside linebacker. If you're better at rushing the passer, he's just going to say, let's not put you in your weakness.
Yep.
Let's just let you do what you do. And I'm going to get somebody else in there they're really good at dropping, right? And I think a lot of times as leaders, sometimes we try to force,
Pigeonhole.
square pegs and round holes and things like that. And sometimes it's our ego. And also, sometimes that's the job. Start up. You're running.
No, but you're
all
right.
figure it
That's
out.
something I think I've gotten a lot better at, and obviously I have a long way to go, and I want to get better every day. But versus, we're about to be 4 years old, year one versus year four. One being more deliberate about what I expect and have that high performance culture and what role is for you. But then two, to your point, if I hire someone, like I'm hiring them because I believe in them, let's give them the best opportunity to be successful in their superpowers. And I love what you brought up about being able to put someone in like the rushing the pass because didn't he change his entire defensive coverage for that Super Bowl against the Rams 2 weeks before?
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. That's unheard of.
Yeah, every game Bill Belichick and that's something I did not understand about the Patriots defense before playing in it. Every week, he adjusts the defense to be the best possible defense against that offense. So instead of him, and I guess the real business lesson here is remove your ego from the equation. Just get the job done. It's not about who gets the credit. It's not about who does it right. It's not about, well, this is my system and I built it. Arguably the best coach of all time could literally sit there and say, this is my defense. It worked for Lawrence Taylor. It worked for this person. It worked for this person. And it's going to work for here in 2024 or 2023 against this team.
Yeah.
But no, he says, no, this is what they do well. We need to switch to be a defense like this to stop it. Remove my ego from it. Let's just stop it and let's win the game. And I think that's another thing too. Sometimes we fall so in love with our idea that we don't necessarily fall in love with creating the solution. And when you fall in love with just creating the solution, now you can take that emotional attachment from your idea and you can just be working with your team, your pod to create the solution to that play. Every time you come off the field, and I'm talking business too, right?
It's a lot of innuendos going, similar.
Right? But you come off the field and we all sit down on the sidelines. Hey, what'd you see out there? What words are you hearing? And why are you doing that? Blah, blah, blah. Hey, next time, let's go in there. Let's do it this way. Whenever we see this look, we're going to switch it up and adjust, right? As opposed to saying, no, we trained it like this way. We got to stay doing it this exact way. And that's why you see some teams get
You got to constantly learn and get better and get. Is it true he doesn't drink coffee?
I don't know.
I saw Pat McAfee brought up to him I was gonna for the draft. They did that Belichick commentary, and he was amazing on that. And they said he was gonna get him espresso martini, and then he found out he doesn't drink any coffee. He drinks alcohol, but he doesn't drink any coffee at all. But no, I was just curious too because you have so many great coaches. Is there any teachers from your time in high school or Penn that you really remember and really made an impact on you?
Yeah. There's a number of them.
Do you have a favorite class from Penn?
Yeah. So, you took Penn.
Oh no, high school. Let's go again. Let's give the shout out. Let's give them the shout out.
Yeah. Well, the best classes at Penn for me, Penn and high school, are always the ones that just allow me to challenge the norm and to think. So we had one class was U.S. history, I'm gonna butcher my teacher's name now, so I apologize. I've been hit with my head a lot of times, so don't even, no, we won't butcher his name. But what he did was he used to always make us challenge the norm and the status quo. And so, for example, United States of America, right? Everybody says it's founded by Christopher Columbus. Now, this is me. This is, before I say, let me get a disclaimer because this is subject.com. This is Brandon Copeland's.
If you need to take a U.S. history class, go to subject. But this is a good
Brandon
tangent.
Copeland tangent right here from my understanding of my junior high school, my high school class.
But see how
of
much
US
that
history as a
impacts
junior,
someone?
right?
He still remembers it pretty vividly that we're about to hear an incredible story. And this
Absolutely.
guy is in his early 30s, and he's remembering his time as a junior in high school. Teachers, you impact the world. You're the heroes of society.
Amen. Amen. So do your own fact check, though. With that being said, United States of America, everybody dubs Christopher Columbus is founding it and all of that type of stuff. Obviously, there was people here already, but Amerigo Vespucci.
Vespucci, yes, that's what I
Amerigo
thought you were going to go with
Vespucci,
it. Yeah.
right? So Amerigo Vespucci truly finds America from the European side, and ultimately, our understanding is because of a written mistake, a typo, it became the United States of America as
Instead of
opposed
Amerigo.
to the United States of America. And so he started class off like that, and he said, look at the ripple effect of a mistake, of human error. There's human error every single day. So
Yeah, it's
this
cool.
is why you need to do your own research. This is why you need to look at things, because you will hear things and you just automatically take them as fact because someone of power told you them. But he said, even me as a teacher, I make mistakes. We got to double down and do our fact check and our research. And so that was just a number of different things that we started going into. And instead of us just reading, he would also make us double down into, well, do you think this is true? Whose perspective is this written from? What biases do they have that you may be now taking from this information? I thought that was huge. In college, my favorite class was legal studies.
Is that Andrew Brandt or?
So I did Andrew Brandt. That was a sports law class, but oddly enough, legal studies negotiations with Professor Nicholas Rangioni. And listen, I'm a professor now, so I'd have made it. It's okay. But, we would always have the book, and we'd have to read text and all these things, but it was really a big debate class. So I would be light on the reading, but I'd come in there and we can debate. I can debate.
The free reading class is pretty boring and tough.
Yeah, 40 pages to listen, 40 pages to just tell you your argument. I can tell you, I can make my argument happen.